Welcome back to Nationwide. We are coming to you this evening from the Craft Yard at Castlecomer Discovery Park in County Kilkenny. Now, so many creative people around the country are working hard because retail is opening and the holiday season is coming. Valerie Waters went to County Monaghan to meet craftspeople who are so happy to be making beautiful pieces for the home and international market.
Just outside Castleblayney in County Monaghan is the home of weaver Liz Christy. Every little detail of the countryside here influences Liz when it comes to her choice of colour for her individually hand-woven scarves and crisp belts.
I'm very much rooted in Monaghan. I love Monaghan. I feel right among the Drumlin Hills, and you kind of never know what's going on behind the next hill, and that appeals to me.
Planted near the house, in amongst the natural vegetation, is a mix of perennials with colours of purples, blues, pinks, yellows and reds. These colours and so many more reappear in Liz Christy's work. The weaving is carried out in Liz's workshop called Swallow Studios, and that's just across the way from the house.
I suppose I'm used to the colour in the studios now, but when somebody comes in, they're really affected by the colour. They just see the riot of colour, and that makes me happy. I love different textures. I use different wools, and I also use locally sourced alpaca as well, which I dye. So I get great joy when I dye wool. I have the dye pots going, and while I have a recipe book, I don't always stick to the recipes, which means that there's never two hanks of wool the same. Even if I do stick to the recipes, there's never two hanks of wool the same. So every scarf then is unique and has its own stamp on it. So you get into a really nice rhythm when you're weaving. It's very much a manual operation. There's no power involved except human energy. We use our feet and our arms.
Over the decades, many of Liz Christy's hand-woven scarves have been purchased by visitors from overseas, in particular the US. Back in 2007, Liz travelled to Dollywood, Tennessee for the Festival of Nations, where she presented Dolly Parton with one of her scarves. Working here today in Swallow Studios are Emma Brannigan and Candice Healy. They are now back at work, having been laid off earlier due to the pandemic.
In 2020, I had actually the best showcase order book ever in 20 years. And we came home, I had stock built up, got some order, started to get the orders out very quickly. And we were very focused on Galway 2020, to get them their stock out. And then COVID. And I kind of think we didn't really expect it to come to Ireland. We managed to keep foot and mouth out, so we thought we could keep this out too. But the day that it got into Ireland, I kind of I suppose I froze because I knew what was coming down the line. I think that the team here were focused on the infection aspect of it and the health aspect of it. I was thinking about the impact it was going to have on the business. And I suppose for those 2 weeks before lockdown, it was very, very tough, it was really tough. But the day that the girls, the Friday that the girls left here, I think it was on the 12th or the 13th, I didn't realise that, they wouldn't be back here for such a long time.
During the COVID-19 restrictions, Liz Christy and a team of local people raised funds to buy material to make scrubs for frontline workers. All the work that went into making the scrubs was done voluntarily.
So it was a great team, and it gave a wee lift to us. And I suppose we spent 3 months doing that. And then my husband, he rides a motorbike, so he would go out and deliver them. So he had a HSE pass because he works for the HSE, and he would go to the hospitals and deliver the scrubs. So it was a good thing to. I felt it was a good thing to do. Now when we did it, as I say, for about 3 months, and then when that kind of finished out and the PPE had started to come into the country, then it really dawned on me, you know, what are we going to do with this business? Like, where is my business?
Liz quickly went about educating herself about online sales. Her website is now a vital lifeline for her business.
The Made Local campaigns that the Crafts Council had run really did impact on people. And, you know, there was a local lady bought a scarf for her husband for Christmas, but she bought it online. Like, you know, she collected it here, but she bought it online. You know, and she was making a conscious decision to support local. She said it was very important to support local business, you know. So I think that message has really got across, you know, and I hope it stays in the psyche afterwards.
The sound of the looms fills the studio again, and wool of exquisite colours goes into scarves that bring to mind the beauty of the Irish countryside. Liz Christy also has a love of the work of the French Impressionist painter Monet, and many of the colours he used influence her.
I'm delighted that, you know, the lockdown has been lifted, and hopefully Irish people are moving around and experiencing the country more than they would have previously. So look, at every little helps at this stage, and I'm really hopeful, you know, that we will get back up and running and start supplying our shops again, and start welcoming more people through our own doors in County Monaghan.
Batik artist Louise Lockman rents part of Swallow Studios from Liz Christy. The women have known each other since they were in art college together in the 1980s.
It's lovely actually to be able to work in a creative field here in County Monaghan, because I'm just from over the fields, kind of. I'm a batik artist mainly, so I do wall hangings and I do silk scarves. I like to bring stories into my artwork, so I do like the Brendan Voyage and the Children of Lear and things like that.
To the front of Swallow Studios, there's a retail area where the visitor can buy work made by Liz Christy and Louise Lockman, as well as crafts made by other creatives in the county of Monaghan.
People seem to want to come to Monaghan because they also like the idea of meeting the makers in Monaghan. And Monaghan's known as a very entrepreneurial county, that everybody is doing something and doing it pretty well.
Beautiful pieces there in County Monaghan. We're back at the craft yard at Castleblayney